Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. I received a lot of support from all of you, even from the crowds that I'm usually not used to receiving support from. After I made this video, I support New York City Mayor Mamdani's Executive Order 11. Here's what I hope it focuses on. Executive Order 11 in New York City deals with how the city deals with small businesses. And this is of interest to me because I used to have a small business in the city. I say used to because I moved it to Austin, Texas. I offered my employees raises and I said I'd pay a year of their rent if they followed their crazy boss across the country so that he could open a business in a place that would not cause his hairline to continue receding. I wanted to go over not all the things that are in this playlist, but I wanted to read a letter that I wrote to the office after receiving that outpouring of support from all of you, because all of you were the people that encouraged me to write this letter. The top voted comment on the video over and over again were people saying that I should reach out to the administration, and I hope somebody in the administration hears this. So here is my letter that I'm writing that I'll be sending at the completion of recording this video. To the office of Mayor Zohran Mamdani, I want to help with small business regulatory reform in New York City. I'm not looking for compensation, a political appointment, or to be able to pad my resume. I care about the outcome. I ran an electronics repair business in Manhattan from 2008 through 2022 before moving to Austin, Texas. You may know me from Right to Repair advocacy. I also have an entire YouTube playlist called Why Businesses Leave New York City that documents in detail what I experienced with city and state agencies over 9 years. The videos are there if anyone on your team wants the specifics. We probably disagree on a lot politically, but I followed Lena Khan's work at the FTC closely. Her approach to antitrust and consumer protection is in line with a lot of what I fight for with Right to Repair and Right to Own. This tells me that we may have more common ground than our labels would suggest. One example, when I drive to my store in Austin, there's a Cadillac CT5V and a BMW 330i parked outside that were purchased new. These ain't my first choice in cars, but they belong to my employees and help make a point about how I think things should be. If someone is a serious contributor to a business, they should be able to drive a nicer car than the owner and afford to buy a house in the same neighborhood. My company paid $18 to $42 an hour before I left New York City, plus bonuses in an industry where $12 to $17 an hour was the standard. I want it to be easier for business owners who pay fairly to survive in New York, and right now it isn't. I haven't set foot in New York City in 3.5 years. I vowed I would never work there again. But if there's a real opportunity to make things better for the next generation of entrepreneurs and young people starting from nothing the way I did, I feel an obligation to reverse course completely. Executive Order 11 is a good step. Taking an inventory of fees, an amnesty study, and acknowledging that the city has been suffocating small business really matters. Tom Gretsch called it a fine first, ask questions later approach, and that's exactly right. Enforcement is designed to catch people failing, not help them comply. Reducing fees alone can miss the underlying cultural issue that I discussed in my original video. Do city employees see business owners as adversaries to be mined for revenue, or partners trying to comply in good faith? Here's what I can offer. 9 years of documented interactions with city agencies, specific examples of where enforcement fails business owners that are trying to comply in good faith, and a platform that reaches people who've had similar experiences. I'm not asking for a title, a job, or a seat at the table, but I'm offering to be a resource, whether that's a conversation, testimony, or connecting your team with other business owners who've lived these same experiences. New York City allowed me to start a business from nothing. I built it from a park table in Herald Square with $250 in my pocket and grew it into something that provided a living wage to over a dozen employees and taught component level repair around the world. I'm involved in advocacy work, nonprofits, and my own business now, but I've built teams that can run without me sitting over their shoulder 8 hours a day, and I want to give that time back to the place that gave me my start. You and I both want New York City to be a place where someone can build something from nothing, and I want that path to exist for everyone who comes next. If I can be useful, I'm offering and I'm listening. You have my number and my email. Louis Rossman. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I would love to hear. Again, I'm not looking to get paid for this. I'm not looking to be able to have influence over people that regulate me. I don't even have a business in New York City anymore. So there's really no interest there for me personally. The interest that I have is that when I started this channel, I wanted to make things easier and better for people who would be following in my footsteps. And in Right to Repair, I've done my best over the years. I did my best to throw the ladder back down. And what I've noticed time and time again is that my efforts have, in many ways, while I've tried, been in vain. I'm a lucky man. I'm a privileged man. I have the ability to put the time and the effort in where many other people might not be able to. I would like to use it to make sure that other people into the future are able to do the same and live and enjoy in the success that I've been able to have, however I can. When I was reading the New York Times article on this issue, it was very clear from both the person who wrote the article and the comment section that there's not a lot of understanding about where the problems lie. Again, many of the regulations that were being discussed, like, hey, you should have a price on what it is you're selling so that you can't just change the price anytime somebody walks in, are actually regulations that I agree with. That should exist. Everything at my business that I sold in the front of my store had a price on it, as it should have a price on it, to avoid living in a world where you could charge different prices to different people based on what they look like that day. And I think that 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 is missing the scope of the problem. I don't want to live in a world where you go from really bad regulation to let's just deregulate everything to, again, what I mentioned in the past video where you say, listen, there's a lot of burdensome regulations on business. So the first one we're going to get rid of is the one that allows you to get a refund or a partial refund if an airline continuously delays your flight. It's like, I don't know a single person in the United States of America that does not think that they should be entitled to compensation if they get dicked around by an airline. Why are you starting at that one? Deregulation as well as overregulation both have these horrible baggage associated with it because we're not really sitting down and trying to look through everything as it is and come up with proper solutions. It's either one ideology or the other. And I would be more than happy to take the time to read through these 600- and 900-page manuals, to speak to the business owners that have dealt with this and try to create an honest framework for what it is that actually should change in order to make lives easier for New Yorkers, in order to make sure that New Yorkers are not getting screwed by local businesses, in order to make sure that the government is running efficiently, and above all, to make it easier for people to be successful in New York City. I'm willing to do that without getting paid for it because I want to give back to the city that helped me become the person that I am today. I feel it's the least I can do. If you're open to this in any way, shape, or form, I would love to hear from you. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. And thank you very much to everybody in my audience for encouraging me to write this letter. I appreciate it. I needed the kick, but I think it was the right thing to do. Thank you.